Hi, everybody, and it's lovely to be here. Thank you so much, Tony, for putting this together, because it cannot be overemphasized that women constantly need to know about their health. So I don't know where to start from. It's a bit weird. Many years ago, I think mid 2000, yeah, maybe about 2006 or 5, thereabouts. I just realized I had extremely painful periods, but I thought it was regular. I thought every woman had regular painful periods, heavy periods, and so it was normal lifestyle for me. And halfway through, I had an ectopic pregnancy, and I never knew I had that. So I was living with an ectopic for about 6 months, and I don't think I've told this story before though. All right. And then I passed out and found myself in the hospital. But even then, the doctors didn't realize, because I was in Abuja at the time, didn't realize that I had a condition called adenomyosis, which is the other side, or the cousin or the sister to endo. And I just kept bleeding as well. So I had a surgery. My left fallopian tube was oculated, it was nipped, and I was just bleeding. So I lived through my work, my life, just bleeding every day. And then I got prescribed some drug, which I had to take subcutaneously for maybe about 6-7 months. And when I started losing too much hair, I thought to stop. And it went on for years, but I was still working. Days I could work and days I couldn't work, I'd just stay home. It was quite depressing, I must say. I don't think I've ever known a good quality of life in my adult years up until now, and that's the truth. So when I got married to my partner, we tried having babies, and I went through the regular, well, yes, people say that you get married really late. Yes, I know that for women, our biological clock ticks really fast. So at 38, I'm already considered really late. But here I am with feminine health issues, and then I wasn't quite sure it was fertility issues, but I knew that I had issues. And here I was waiting and trying for a baby. So I was TTCing for about 2 years, and the IVF I did, I miscarried. And I thought to myself, am I ready for this? But I couldn't deal with it. I couldn't stay at home, so I left for work. I went to work in Tanzania and came back and thought I'd go back to the hospital again and see what's going on. But I was really depressed. I think that's when I finally just quit working and thought I'd stay back home, because I was afraid of what people would say, which is what is a driving force for a lot of women. What people say, they're constantly asking if you're not going to have kids, they're constantly asking why you haven't had kids. And then some of them go as far as saying, don't worry, do you know that sister Funke just had a baby, your own is coming. And those are the things that really, really push a woman to do things that she mustn't do. They push you to think that you're not worthy to stand in the same space. You can't attend a birthday party because you haven't got a baby. So I'm going to speak more from the social aspect of it, because I think there's so many medical people here. And so this kept affecting me, and I kept trying and hoping. And one of the days, it was a new year, I can't remember. I've tried to delete most of the dates in my head. Not delete, but distort them somewhere, because I never like really remembering. Not because I haven't dealt with it, I just think I've moved on. So I woke up on New Year's Day with severe pains. I was used to the pains, but this particular one, I had to sit in the garden, to divert my pain to cold. So I wanted to use the cold to forget I was in pain. And so my partner wakes up and doesn't find me in bed, and then he sees me in the garden. And we've had, a bit of bubbly for New Year. And he thinks, oh, how am I going to drive you to the hospital? Can I call the ambulance? And I never say yes to those things because I'm stronger than that, I think. But I couldn't. I thought, you need to take me to see the doctor. So we drove to the hospital, and I spent New Year's Day there. The second, third, fourth, and the sixth day, I was discharged, and I was asked to come back to hospital. And then we went back, and they say to me, so you see, we do think that, are you trying for a baby again? And I said, I'm not sure if I am, because after the last one, I don't think I can go through IVF again. And my husband said, with what I went through, he cannot let me do IVF a second time. And this is it for him. Is there any way we can get further from here rather than going back to where we're coming from? And she said the only way we could survive a better quality of life was to have a hysterectomy. It was as though they had torn my heart out of my body. Here I was with someone who I loved, hadn't seen him in forever. And the one thing that I've been taught that women do is to have children, procreate. And I wasn't going to be able to do that. I couldn't even reply to the doctor. And that's the truth. I literally just started crying. And I could only hear the voice, and he was saying, and that's my husband, and he said, I'd rather have my wife alive because I didn't marry her for kids, but this is a decision she has to make herself. And I just said, yes, I'd do it. There, I didn't even think about it because I was tired. I'd probably only have maybe about 5 days in a month where I was probably okay and all right. And then the constant mood swings and everything. I've never been a big person. I've never been, and this is no disrespect to people who are bigger than I am in terms of body weight. I've always been constantly slim. I've been a size 8 and up to a size 10. I've never gone beyond that. And maybe now, for some cuts, my hip might be a 12, but it's very rare. It means the cuts are really small. So weight wasn't really my issue. Maybe it was genetics. I'm not quite sure. It could have been lifestyle, maybe, but I'm not sure either. I can't place a finger as to why I got to that point. And when I decided to do the surgery, the only thing I wanted to do was walk a red carpet, which I certainly don't like, but I wanted to walk a red carpet and look lovely for one event, just in case I went for the surgery and I died. And when I said it to my husband, he thought, that's spooky. I said, but it's the truth. I want the best photo to be out there, just in case I go for the surgery and I don't come out. And I went for the surgery, and God bless Dr. Baumgarten. I constantly say this because I didn't realize that even in that, when I had my first surgery, I had stomach adhesions. So I have to describe this so you can see my intestines were not here, but rather here. So I suffered. So all my stomach and everything was compressed, and it moved up here. And I had heartburn for 7 years constantly, not realizing what the problem was. So a surgery that should have taken 2 hours took, I think, about 4.5, 5 hours. So she had to rearrange everything again. And then she asked me a question when I woke up. How are you even alive? And I thought it was funny. I just said to her, I think I just got insurmountable grace. I think it's just grace. There's no point. There's no need why anyone should be alive with this condition, constantly bleeding, and then you have constant heartburn, and it's okay. So I think that's a summary of what I've been through. And then the after surgery was even worse because at this point I felt like a man. I thought I was no longer a woman. I didn't want to like nothing interested me. But then again, the same husband, after watching me through my depression, says, you know, the one thing that makes you truly happy is your work. I think you need to go back. And he kept talking about it. He'd spoken about it for almost a year and a half before I finally went back to work. So is that the story? Yes. I guess I'll do better with questions, but that's what it is really. And might I add that sex was, there was no sex, literally, because it was extremely painful. It was, so, it was really hard. It was really hard. It was really hard, really hard. I don't know what else to say, except I'm asked questions, but in a nutshell, that's what it was. And here we are. So I told my story, and people still think it's weird when I say that I do not want children. I don't. I've made my peace. I'm fine. Clifford and I are great. We have a dog, and we've moved on, and we have us, and we have so many other people to call children, if at all. Yes, I do have I have a son, my stepson. I have someone who I call a daughter, but I don't have children biologically. It doesn't make me any less than the person who's got 20. And that's what I try to tell women today. It's okay. The society will be fine. You don't have to do the things that everybody wants you to do. You don't have to live according to a playbook. I'm deliberate about the way I eat. I'm deliberate about the things I ingest. I'm deliberate about exercising. I do 16 to 20 kilometers every day. I work out. I do the things. I do Pilates. It's weird. Sometimes you can do all these things and it still comes down to this. How do you deal with it mentally? That's your strength. That's where you show that it doesn't really matter. These things can't beat you down. There's going to be a lot more that come. So I'm glad I'm here. Sometimes I don't like talking about it, but I know that there are women. I've come across at least 10 women who've had hysterectomies ever since my story. They're constantly sending me messages. And I say to them, I'm not a medical person, but I'll say this to you. You ask yourself the question, do I want a better quality of life? Yes, you're afraid, but what are the odds that you're going to die? It's just a surgery. It's really nothing. Sometimes it could be non-invasive. It could be a laparoscopy, depending if it's going to be vaginal, but if it's too big, then it can come out. I even had fibroids. I had loads of nodules, yes. I had so much. It was left, right, bang, everywhere. So I can't say it was milk. I've always been lactose intolerant, so it wasn't milk. Yes, I like meat. I was vegetarian for 3 years. So it's weird. When the things happen, they happen. So, but it's wise to live a healthy life. And Dr. Kayode, might I add that if you must drink, what's it called? Turmeric, you must add black pepper to help release the curcumin. I think, yeah, that's what it is. I knew I noted that. I had to mention. So is there anything else I have to say? I'm sorry for ranting, but that's how I talk.
Thank you, Inse. That was amazing. Absolutely grateful that you could join us today, honestly. And having met you in this last few weeks and months, amazing woman, honestly. Lovely woman to know. Thank you so much, Inse. And if anyone's got any question, please put it in the chat box, but we can maybe take one if anyone's got any questions for Inse.
If it's up to 3, I'll take 3. If there's 1, I'll take 1.
I have a question.
Who am I speaking with, please?
My name is Mary.
Hello, Mary.
How are you? Your story was very inspiring. I've gone through similar, basically I'm at a similar crossroad now where they've told me that I can just carry on medication or go for hysterectomy. I personally already have 2 children, but my concern was, does hysterectomy bring about menopause quicker?
Yeah, it could. I'm menopausing at the moment. It depends on you. I've been menopausing for years and I'm loving it. Because you've got to accept these things.
Absolutely.
You can't. I get hot flushes. I'm probably during winter. I go, oh, the heating's on. And, you know, and it happens even in Nigeria. And then I just get the chills. What's wrong? I'm like, oh, I get the chills. And they think it's fever. No, it's not fever, it's menopause. But I'm not one for, I don't like medication that much. I could go through pain without, I'd rather have ginger, I'd rather drink something that's anti-inflammatory. It has to be really serious before I go for painkillers. So I don't take anything for the menopause, but I do say to you that you already have to.
Yeah, I do.
You're going to have a better quality of life.
Yeah.
You think about it. I promise you. Okay, we're all adults here. But sex is great for me now.
Okay, I wanted to ask that as well, but I wanted to ask that, like, do you lose your sex drive? Like, do you not feel it anymore?
No, not at all. But that, because after a hysterectomy, you're going to be advised to do your Kegel exercises constantly because of your pelvic wall.
Mm-hmm.
So those are things you just do. And then you constantly have to, listen, with or without a hysterectomy, your sexual libido is going to go anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So what do? You light the candle every day. That's what you do.
Okay.
Some days you really don't want to have, intimate relations with your partner, but you do know that you can't leave it too long.
Yeah.
So what you do, you find it in you. There's always a spark. There's always something. So yes, they say that, some people you might get as lubricated as you will. It's not physical. Once you realize that sex is your mind, you will control it. Power of the enjoying the conversation. Look at you.
Awesome.
Thank
Can I ask a question? Or make a
Who
comment?
am I speaking with?
Oh, my name is Shola, and I'm very grateful because I've actually gone through quite similar to what you've gone through. I've had the other side of it. I had endometriosis.
Endo.
And 5 miscarriages, and I'm now menopausing. And I think my biggest issue are 2 things: the acceptance of myself, the fact that of my infertility issues, that, and then the endo pain, and then the menopause now, and go through the 2 things. It's a constant battle trying to have a good mental space. Well, and I'm grateful. I adopted a little child. She's brought joy to my family. Oh, she's a joy. Thank you. But I think for me, and I think encouraging for others, is the fact that it's a constant work to how to accept the fact that you have infertility and being Nigerian and being in a culture and a family that and I'm the only girl in my family and the elders, and that
Is it
expectation.
Princess speaking?
Sorry?
Your name is?
Shola or Shola.
Shola. It's okay, I'll call you both. Shola.
Seriously, Inse, Shola.
Yeah, Shola.
Yeah, so it's encouraging. I think it's nice that we're beginning to talk about our issues and not feel ashamed of the fact that, yes, we're Nigerians, yes, we have infertility, yes, we've gone through all of the stuff, and not be afraid to speak it out. So thank you for being a spokesperson, and it's encouraging for me that I'm not going to be afraid to say. I've never been afraid to say how I'm sure Tori and everybody that knows me, I am quite vocal about how I feel. But I think it's encouraging to others too, especially who are Nigerians or as well as Black, that we need to speak our truth to help others.
Oh, you have to, actually. And I realized that without being able to speak about what I had been through, my cycle will never have been complete.
Mm-hmm.
I felt, because I constantly felt like I was wanting in many areas. I'm not good enough, I'm not woman enough, I'm not this enough. But I am all woman. I am good. I am outstanding.
Absolutely.
You want you to tell yourself those things. It doesn't really matter. So what? It's funny because my godmother, she was Swiss, bless her soul, Erica. Erica had no kids. She had a hysterectomy. I just passed a comment to my mother a few days ago and I said, oh, I just mirrored her life, right? I have a dog. Yes, no kids. And then she said to me, you need to add the money. So my mom's crazy. And she goes, yeah, because she says you need to add the money because you can't not have one and not have the other. You must have the other. I said, don't worry, I'm coming. I'm working really hard.
Inse, can I ask a question? Especially, I'm Dee, I'm the host, so I just wanted to ask the question. It's not really a question, or it is. Yeah, a bit of advice. What advice would you give, like, not saying that you're old or anything, but the younger people? Because I expect, like, if you're at a younger age, maybe like your 20s, late 30s, whatever, and then you're realizing that you may have fertility issues or whatever. What advice would you give them to keep going? Because a lot of people want the fairy tale and have a baby and get married and blah blah blah, and that might not be the case.
Freeze your eggs.
Okay.
Freeze your eggs. Freeze your eggs. If you can, freeze your eggs. Because you might feel broody at some point. Get treatment, but freeze your eggs. Then thankfully there's surrogacy. There's so much going on. So you can have children. There's no reason anyone should say that I can't have kids. Except you don't want them. And that's why I fall into. I couldn't, and now I don't. So it's a transition for me. For others, they would want to go ahead and have kids, and that's fine. But I think that at 47, I don't have the energy. I don't have the tenacity. Could you turn off your mic, please, or mute it? Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Dr. Adebute, can you mute, please?
Yomi, I think that's very rude.
He's gonna come back.
As I was saying, so there's no need for you to there's absolutely no reason for you to feel the way you feel. Do not let anyone else make you feel inadequate. Nothing makes you inadequate. The fact that nothing makes you inadequate. You'd have other things that you're great at. You just might be great at pushing out kids. Hey, that was fine, it's valid. But your mental health is very important. You must talk to someone, like Angela said. You must find a support group. You must find, and for me, I believe everybody deserves and needs a therapist. You must have these things. If you do not have a therapist, and personally, I don't think the church is a therapist because they don't know it. They don't understand it. And it's personal for me. They don't. Someone's going to keep telling me, oh, don't worry, just pray. I don't want to pray. I want to talk to you about it.
Absolutely.
I don't want you to tell me to take it somewhere else. No. That's fine. That will be good. But I want to talk to you. So if you feel a bit weird, there's so many places where you can even go online and talk to people without seeing them. If you feel comfortable, you want to hide, that's fine. But find a safe space to speak. Because when you speak, you don't have the random thoughts of self-harm. And I've been down that road. So when I'm speaking, I'm not speaking because it's kind of cool. I've been down that road. I've been down it. I've been there. So I know how quickly you can slip, how the black dog can cover you. I know how bad it can get. So you must find someone to speak to. Even when you think you're fine, speak to someone.